Creative Alliance Showcase on the Flint Underground channel. So if you guys don't know, the Flint Underground has been around for about 3 years now. It's flintunderground.org. Yeah, I know, it feels like a long time. It's also on YouTube channel, Flint Underground channel. Right?
Oh, the Flint Underground YouTube channel, yes, it's there. And that's where all the videos are there, actually. So there might be a few there that aren't on the flintunderground.org. So. But anyway, and then we're also on Channel 17.
Yeah, locally on Comcast. You got it. If
Comcast
not,
Channel 17. Every Monday at 6 p.m., one of our videos is being played.
So it's not just this show, we also do art walk videos, the collab night, which is a cool open mic here that the Creative Alliance does every single month.
Art walks those are our highest views, you know, those ones and the collab night.
So really, if you want to know what's going on, Aerosol Audio, I know you got some video up, which is a local festival for graffiti artists and musicians. So just check us out, flintunderground.org or on YouTube, or maybe you'll see us on TV Mondays at 6. Today's show is really exciting. We went on the road, went down to Royal Oak and visited some cool people. We're down there on 4th Street visiting with Christopher Davis, who runs the Sacred Wave Gong Immersion, and his partner Carol Damoth, who's a psychotherapist and certified health professional.
And together they have this great immersion meditation therapy that they do with the gongs, and it's not at all like you would think. Like, you know, they are the big gongs. I mean, these things are huge, they look like they're really heavy, but they make really interesting sounds. All of them were different, like they all had their own personality, and anyway, it was really interesting.
It's really cool, and you guys are going to love it. And then on top of that, we also have a few clips from some of my poetry down at Royal Oak, as well as some other cool Flint Underground videos and stuff.
I was videotaping Nick, and he was, you know, doing his poetry on the street.
So it's a little different show for you guys today, but I think you'll like it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
And if you don't know who we are, the Creative Alliance is a group of artists and activists. To be exact, we're a group of painters, poets, organizers, dancers, actors, models, photographers, filmmakers, writers, DJs, musicians, designers, comedians, and performers of all kinds. Our mission is to organize events and activities to support art, culture, education, and our community. We want to encourage an atmosphere that makes people proud to live in Flint. So if this sounds like a group you're interested in joining, we meet every single Wednesday at Churchill's Bar and Grill right here on Saginaw Street, downtown Flint at 7 o'clock for our general meetings, except the third Wednesday of the month. We have our Creative Collab Night, which is kind of like...
so much fun.
It's awesome. It's an open mic, open canvas event over at Convenience Cafe in Carriagetown. That goes 7 to 10, and that's all free.
And what we might as well mention while we're at it, we're having a Flint song contest. So if you know anybody that has a song about Flint, an original song about Flint, come to Collab Night and play your song, and you'll automatically be in the contest. So we're having a Flint song contest. So you have to be on the Creative Alliance show between now and May of 2015. And then we'll have a vote for the song that everybody likes the best, like a popular vote, like probably on probably Art Walk of June 2015, probably. And the winner will get, they get some 5 hours worth of airtime with Ken over in his studio.
Recording studio.
So recording. And then they'll be on Kettering Radio. And they'll also be featured at least 2 events. You know, Aerosol Audio next year so that they could play on their stage. And then also Paul Harry with the Juneteenth so that they could play on their stage. And I'm still looking.
Yeah.
If anybody out there wants to
I know that they'll also be welcome to the Creative Alliance's annual Jamboree event.
Oh, and also we will be also having them on the show.
Right.
On the show.
So it's really an all-in type situation. You can't lose. Either way, you know, just come on down to Creative Collab Night between now and May 2015. Get on the show. You'll get some airtime regardless, and it lets them you in the contest. It's a really cool opportunity to spread your knowledge about Flint, spread your passion about music, and be heard.
Pick a song, and any genre.
Right. And all you gotta do is write down on the sheet that you got your Flint song ready to go.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, excuse me. One thing I really thought was cool about Royal Oak is we were just wandering around before the interview, and we met this really sweet street musician.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, he's in the video too, at the very beginning of it.
Do you want to show that video real quick?
Well, you know what, I was going to merge that with the video of you doing your street music, so
that's something you guys
we'll
can
do
see
that.
in
We'll
the
show you that at the end of the show. Okay. But we did want to mention who won the last art contest, our monthly art contest. Every art walk, we've been having this popular vote art contest up here in the top of the local. It's $5 to enter your piece, and whoever wins the popular vote at the end of the night gets half of the money that was brought in. Now, unfortunately, though, we're not getting enough entries, and October is going to be the last time we do that unless we get a whole bunch of people in October and change our minds.
So if you're watching us at home right now, be sure to get hold of Jenny and bring your art up to the local the day before.
It's been Thursday, 6 to 8
before the
our
second
walk.
Friday.
Yeah. Anyway, this was the one that won last time. If you want to
Show a
look at
picture of that.
It's kind of a cheat though. I didn't
Who did this? You painted it. Is that you in the picture?
Yeah. And did you take that picture?
I haven't
think you
taken that
did.
picture.
So it sounds a little good.
It's a collaborative
Yeah.
effort, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, that music store is in Squirts Creek, and a lot of people are sentimental because, you know, they used to buy their musical stuff there. There wasn't that many places to sell it before Guitar Center came into town.
Jeff's music.
And Jeff's Music. And then Jeff's dad had it, and he died, and then Jeff just recently died, and now it's like sitting there vacant. So it was a lot of emotion.
Do you want to open the store there?
No.
Jeff's music?
And not interested at all. But that was the thought behind the paint.
So if you guys want to be the winner next month, all you gotta do is enter your paint. It's $5. It's pretty easy, and you know we get our own little art prize here in Flint. So
Okay.
check it out. I think now it's time for me to read the events.
Oh, yeah, good.
So we have some stuff coming up this month. October's always a fun month.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So, Saturday, October 4th, Flint Local 432, they're meeting for the 6th annual Flint Zombie Walk, which is a very slow, go ahead.
We've actually got a video of that.
You got a video of it
Yeah, from
last
a long
year.
time ago. No, not last year. It was like several years ago. I videotaped it, and it's called Zombie Walk,
Mhm.
and it's in the Flint Underground YouTube channel, but not on .org, I don't think.
So check that
So,
out.
but it is really cool. I mean, people just
Yeah.
go all out.
They
with
do
their
it every
costumes.
year. It's a fundraiser. They pick one charity to donate all the money to, and then you dress up in
Mhm.
gory costumes,
Yeah.
bring your family, and
And you end up at a little party where you know, they have like hot dogs or something, you know,
yeah, it's a cool
and
event.
entertainment.
And brains. Same day, October 4th, at Comic Relief over on Fenton Road is a 24-hour free comic book day, which, you know, I assume you get a free comic book, and it lasts 24 hours, so check that out. That same day, at New Beginnings Fair in Burton, Reiki 1 and 2 classes start at 11 a.m. if you want to get your Reiki on. Friday, October 10th, Churchill's Food and Spirits, Autumn Coma with Mistaken for Satellites play for Art in October, which I believe is the same night as our walk, so check it out. Mistaken for Satellites, Autumn Coma at Churchill's. The next day, October 11th, there's a Spooky Trails film night, which is,
Have you ever been to Spooky Trails?
I have not, but there is apparently an official Spooky Trails farm.
Oh, and there's a tractor that pulls the wagon through these spooky trails and stuff, jumps all over stuff all over.
Oh, really?
You're really outside in a wagon.
Do you know what they're going to film, what they're going to show?
Oh, I don't know what they're gonna film, and this place is a different location, but the same people own it, so I think it's gonna be similar.
Mm.
But I don't know what they're filming, but you know it's gonna be something gory, you know.
Well, and if you don't make it out to Spooky Trails, you can come visit us at Churchill's for Support Your Local Poet that night. Starts at 9, goes to 10, followed by DJ Michael A. and the Wayback Machine. Always a good time, free. October 14th, John Cockerell Memorial Short Film Contest at the Flint Local 432. He's a local filmmaker that passed away last year, and they're doing a contest in his honor. It's going to be very cool. Check that out the 14th of October. October 18th, Which is Which Wicca 101 Workshop. That's at 2 p.m. at a New You Holistic Wellness Center. I'm not sure where a New You is, but the internet's a valuable tool for these types of things.
Yes.
October 18th, Huey Lewis and the News apparently will be playing at the Whiting Auditorium at 8 p.m. So if you still living in the 80s and want to check out Huey Lewis, check out the Whiting. October 25th, return to the Flint Horrorcon's Petrifying Pinup Pageant. So a lot of P's in that sentence.
Oh, they want girls to enter that contest, or anybody, these would be guys too, couldn't it? But
Well,
it's
I
for-
hope so. It's
I think it's
21st
supposed to
century.
be, girls, like pin-up girls.
I never understood that pinup. Are you like pinning them on your
Yeah,
wall?
you pin them on your wall,
Mm.
back in the olden days when you.
Not a
stuff on
voodoo
your
thing or
wall.
anything like that? No.
I think everybody pins things on, don't you pin things on your wall?
I take things.
Yeah, oh, okay, sorry.
I respect my
Okay.
landlords.
Okay.
So that's October 25th at Riverfront Banquet Center, downtown Flint. Again, it's Flint HorrorCon's Petrifying Pinup Pageant. October 25th, same night, other side of downtown, Vertigo Theatrics is holding their Vampire Ball. It's ages 21 and up, assuming there's alcohol involved. Starts at 7:30, and I'm guessing it's at Masonic Temple. Probably, Vertigo. Check that out if you're interested in the Vampire Ball. They do it every year. October 28th, the October Babies CD release and birthday bash at Arc in Ann Arbor.
Babies, I heard that so long.
Free admission. So if you're in Ann Arbor, check out the October Babies. They are great. Free show you really can't beat. Wherever the Raven Moon Covenstead is, October 30th at 6 p.m. The Coven of the Raven Moon's Magical Marketplace and Psychic Fair. Magical has a C and a K in it. Check that out. It sounds like a cool event. We really should start putting addresses on here because I don't even know if they're in Michigan. You know what I'm saying?
No, I try to go through and pull up just the ones that are in the area, unless it's somebody we know real well, like October Babies, because they've had their videos on our show.
So it's somewhat local. You can find it on Facebook if you search. October 30th, also at Churchill's Food and Spirits, 9 p.m. DJ Tron and Halloween party, but I don't think Ween will be there. Check that out. October 31st at the Golden Leaf Halloween Funk Fest 2014 starts at 7 o'clock. Don't miss that.
Golden Leaf, they were on our show just last, was it July?
2 months ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really blowing up. I see them listed in
they had a barbecue. I wanted to go to that.
Times for students. Yeah.
Yes.
One of those best kept secrets no one's really keeping. November 1st, the Crucible at Buckham Gallery. I assume they're doing some sort of witch burning or trials. That's all I got for now. If you got any events, send to Jenny at this address right here, and we'll get them on the shelf for you.
Yep, and it's kind of soon, so by the time this airs, it's probably going to be too late. But they've got Young Frankenstein playing. The community players have that on Miller Road, and I really want to see that. But so we have to go this weekend, though. So.
Well, you guys probably missed it. You might have seen it.
Yeah, but there'll be more plays there, though. The Community Players Theater, and it's right there on Miller Road by Ballinger.
Yep, Miller and Ballinger by the Unitarian Church.
Yeah. Okay.
So now that we're filming the local, as you may or may not know, our costs have gone way down, and you can be one of our underwriters for only $10.
Only $10.
It's a donation to the coolest grassroots organization in Flint. It goes to either 2 30-second commercials or one minute commercial for whatever you want. And it's not just this show, it can go on any show. So it can be on Art Walk, it can be on, which is our biggest show by the way, it can go on the Collab Night, go on the Sports World Poet if you film that.
Yeah.
Aerosol Audio, whatever you guys want. So get a hold of Jenny again right here at this address if you're interested in doing it. And we really appreciate the support. So,
We should go see those.
we should see who those underwriters are for this episode.
Right.
And thank you for the generous support.
Page's Bookstore is locally owned and located at 132 West 2nd Street in downtown Flint at Buckham Alley. It is a showcase for local authors and artists. Please visit Page's during the Second Friday Art Walk in downtown Flint.
Welcome to the Lunch Studio, Flint's fresh alternative. We've been downtown Flint since 2001. When we first opened, there were only a couple places downtown where people could get an affordable and healthy lunch. Now there are a lot more choices for the growing downtown community, and that's a good thing.
At the Lunch Studio, we serve lunches made with the best ingredients at the best possible prices and always with a smile. All our soup and chili is made in-house daily. We have daily lunch specials and delicious breakfast sandwiches too. If you're in a hurry or on a short break, call ahead, dine in, or grab it and go. We offer many healthy and vegetarian options, and we can also accommodate most any special diet. We also offer half of 2 different sandwiches in case you just can't make up your mind.
We buy locally whenever possible, and we're very active in the community. We We are proud and excited to be a part of the revitalization going on in downtown Flint, a place that we have always loved. Here at the Lunch Studio, we think lunch should be one of the highlights of your day.
And we're back, and I want to thank all those great, generous underwriters of
Right,
ours.
and we can always use more.
Yeah, we love money. So, again, get a hold of Jennie right here if you're interested in being an underwriter for us. So I think we're going to just go into the roadshow part here and join Christopher and Carol, mid-movie. Do you want to say anything about this?
Well, it's very relaxing. In fact, I noticed just for a few days afterwards, I've just been really relaxed, and being able to focus, he's better.
Yeah, I think I've been too relaxed, but it was a great experience.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And it sounds beautiful because when you first hear gongs, you wouldn't think the word gong, you would think it would be very pretty. But these things sound really wonderful. And he can make them sound like space, too.
Yeah, they sound
It's just
amazing. And you really feel that vibration. I think that's definitely an aspect of it. So we won't talk anymore about it. We'll get right into it. Let's meet with Christopher and Carol. So we're here with Carol Damoth down in Royal Oak. How are you today, Carol?
I'm great, Nick. Thanks for joining us here today.
Thanks for having us. So could you tell the people in Flint and on the internet and on TV and all our wonderful followers what it is you do here?
I have a combined practice in psychotherapy and holistic energy medicine and holistic wellness consultation. So I do what most people may think of as traditional kind of talk therapy. I see children, adolescents, adults, couples, do relationship counseling, parent guidance work, and other type of individual therapies. And I've been in practice as a therapist for 25 years now. And about 13 years ago, I was introduced to some more holistic types of therapies, specifically in my case, something called Healing Touch, which is began under the auspices of the American Holistic Nurses Association. And it is a very light touch. It's not massage therapy, it's a very light touch type of treatment that is based in a holistic perspective, which is that everything is connected to everything else. So there's a mind, body, spirit component of all of that. And I became certified as a certified healing touch practitioner, and then went on to train in something called cranial sacral therapy, which works with the flow of cerebral spinal fluid in the body. And then my husband, Christopher Davis, and I went on to train in more holistic and a greater holistic health perspective and are certified natural health professionals. And from there I decided to take the leap and pursue a doctorate in naturopathic medicine, which I'm in the process of now, and stumbling a little bit with organic chemistry, which I see is not my favorite thing either, but I do. So here we do, from this is the table behind me, here's where we do energy work. So that's a healing touch and cranial sacral therapy, and then you're going to get a little sense of the sound therapy that Christopher and I do together.
And back to the holistic sense of medicine, do you feel most people will benefit from both psychotherapy as well as the various holistic methods?
I think it's a very powerful combination. It's a little unusual. When I first started doing this, 13, 14 years ago, I was kind of an oddity in the field of psychology. Now it has become, it is expanded. The holistic practice has expanded in the field of psychology. And what I find is that from a traditional psychological perspective, we're taught that true insight and healing comes from a process of cognitive, conscious understanding. And although I think that that's true to an extent, I also find that sometimes, and you may have experienced it in your own life before, you can get some great insight into, say, maybe why you keep pursuing a certain behavior over and over again, even though it's not working very well for you. A certain pattern becomes established, and then you get this insight and you say, oh my gosh, I understand why I do that. Wow, I don't want to do that anymore. But even though you have this great understanding, you still keep doing it. And so what I found is that the energy medicine practices help us access and shift patterns and access awareness at a level of consciousness that goes beyond or deeper than that conscious cognitive process. So I find them to be a very useful combination, and they're very useful for things like ADD, treatment of anxiety, which a lot of us, are challenged with in this day and age, and also to find that sometimes physical symptoms that people hold have an emotional component to them, and if we kind of work both angles of that, we're best supporting someone's real healing.
It's really fascinating.
So,
and is there a particular focus for your doctorate that you're currently?
It will be a general doctorate in naturopathic medicine, which is a holistic approach to medicine, which really is grounded in, as is the other energy work we do, the sound therapy work we do, and even my approach to psychotherapy, which is that everybody contains within themselves the natural, their own innate ability to heal and maintain their health. So it really is about empowering and supporting each individual's innate healing potential, as opposed to the idea that we have that's associated with traditional medicine, is that you go to a professional and they do something to you.
An external force.
And therefore, a procedure, a medication, whatever, which is sometimes necessary, but the philosophy is that the external force, as you said, is doing something, where from a naturopathic health perspective, it is about supporting an innate potential and ability. And again, from a holistic perspective, like you need to look at nutrition, you need to look at what the person is doing with their body, you need to look at what is going on with them emotionally and psychologically, what's happening in relationships in their life. So it's a big picture approach to health.
So I'm a little familiar with the chakra therapy. How did you come across the cranial sacral?
I've been very fortunate in that I would say that I stumbled upon certain things, but I really think in some ways there are no accidents in synchronicity. There's just synchronicity that happens. And I was actually at a holistic health fair several years ago, and had been volunteering doing little mini healing touch treatments there, as we were required to do as students. And when my shift was up, I was wandering around, and there was this guy, his name was Daniel Ryer. He was a very well-known craniosacral instructor and practitioner here in Michigan, and he was doing many craniosacral treatments, and I had no idea what it was, and I thought, well, I'll give it a try. And we all tend to carry our issues or our stress somewhere in our body, and where I carry it tends to be right up here. I call it the weight of the world there, the weight of the world syndrome on your shoulders. And so I have a lot of muscle and neck tension, and so I told him that, and I got on his table there in the middle of this festival, and all he did was work on my lower back. And I remember thinking the whole time, why is he doing that? I said, that the pain was up here. And all I know is when I got off of that table, I was like, wow, what was that? I felt like my body had just gone back into alignment. And I thought, I want to learn how to do that. And when he offered some classes locally, I trained with him, and therefore learned craniosacral therapy. And people ask me to describe how it's different than chiropractic work, for instance. And the way I say that is that chiropractic care makes something happen, like the chiropractor will actually move the bones in the spine, whereas craniosacral therapy allows something to happen, and it is again very gentle touch, and it just releases restrictions in the body and lets the body find its alignment on its own.
Interesting, back to kind of the internal force.
Right, and the way Daniel taught the class, it was kind of the intersection of a physiological technique with an energy medicine technique. And because I already had the grounding in energy medicine, that really appealed to me. And so it was just kind of a natural extension
Awesome.
of my work.
So if people were interested in seeing you for any of these type of healing therapies, would they just go to your website?
They could go to my website, they can give me a call, but all my contact information is on my website, which is caroldamoth.com. The website will describe the different treatment techniques that I utilize, and the person and I will talk and design together a strategy and combination of tools that we feel will best support their needs and their wellness.
Great.
Great. Thank you.
I'm always happy to chat on the phone with people, so you should feel free to call and talk to me.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having us today.
Welcome to our studio, Nick and Jennie, and my partner Carol's over here, and I'd love to introduce the gongs. So, in our studio today, we have a section of our private gong collection. So this gong is from the Pauly sound creation series that was started in the 80s. And this is a Moench sound creation gong. So it's good for the hips, all of the female organs, and the eyes, just to keep this relatively simple. This gong here at the top in the center is a Mercury planetary gong. It is tuned to an octave of the orbit of the planet Mercury, and it is really good for helping people to become clear-minded, as well as reducing stress for people who like to work long hours or don't like to get enough sleep. Over here, I'm going to give you some more light. How's that? On that. This is a water sound creation gong, and the water sound creation gong is good for the pituitary as well as the hips. In combination with these two gongs, in combination, help the hips even more. Down here is a sun sound creation gong. And this gong helps people to tune up their nervous system. It literally helps people have better posture. This particular gong is a 36-inch Pauly symphonic gong, and its tuning specifically is good for helping people with digestion and assimilation as well as elimination. And it is a very deep sound that you could really feel in your abdomen when it's playing. How would you like to hear them?
Yes, let's do that.
Okay, so this is what a Moench sound creation gong sounds like. This is Mercury. This is the water gong that a lot of people have strong feelings about. Can you hear the water sound to that? This is our sun gong. Makes a very distinct D note and this D note has a very special property to it that helps with inflammation as well as the nervous system. And this is the 36-inch feisty symphonic gong that we're using today. So all of our gongs can be felt in the body, but this 36-inch gong can really be felt very strongly in the body. What else can I tell you?
Well, let's talk about you.
Okay. I've been practicing with vibrational therapies and energy medicine since 1988. Let's see. Sacred Wave Gong Immersions is an outcropping of Carol's and my love of sound therapy. Let's see. So what I like about the use of the gongs more than other instruments is, to me, I find that it's better for people in groups, that it helps with group facilitation, and I personally learned that meditation is really good for stress reduction, and so that I like using the gongs to help facilitate meditation as well as other brainwave states to help people with meditation. So what kinds of things might I tell you about myself that your viewers would want to know?
Well, I was wondering, is this something that you're pioneering more, or is it something that you've learned from someone, or a combination?
Oh, well, great. So we originally learned to play gongs with Salvador Brock back in April 2012, and he taught a particular way to play the gongs and to treat the gongs respectfully as sacred instruments and as vehicles of consciousness. Beyond that, I have learned things from different people like Michael Bettine and Mike Tamburo out of Pennsylvania. But I've continued learning on my own. The gong has a way of teaching people to work with it, as well as it's a intuitive flow like energy medicine. So, or the same as energy medicine, it's a form of energy medicine. So working with the gongs for us is very much a practice of energy medicine. So you can take lessons, but the other thing is the gongs begin to teach you to do more after you've had some basics and groundwork. We have also taught classes, 2 different classes, helping other people to learn to begin to work with the gongs, and it's part of what we really enjoy doing. Let's see. So
This is an amazing sound. I don't know if they get it at home, but
I hope that
you
they
really
can.
do feel it. Is this what one would call a complete set of gongs, or are these particularly just what you prefer to use?
We switch out our gong collection. We have a collection of 12 different Paiste gongs. We use Paiste gongs because they're the highest quality level. We could also bring in other types of gongs. We like these because they have a very broad range of therapeutic values besides the ones I described to you. They listen to the people in the room, and say things back to them or broadcast frequencies back to them. They literally make different sounds based on who's in the room. It is a very unusual functionality of the gongs. I love it. I have been stunned by it at times as to how different that response can be. They're big membranes, just like your ear is a membrane. And just like a speaker, they can also be used as a microphone. So they're listening as well as broadcasting. And the mallet is a vehicle of helping to bring that sound out and the getting a touch for them, as opposed to smashing, crashing the gong out. And there's a time and a place for every sound that the gong makes. They also make some very beautiful sound with friction mallets, which we like to call whale mallets. So just a fun sample of that.
It's like a whale or something. It's amazing.
So it's a beautiful instrument to work with. They're good for people. I mean, if a person had no knowledge whatsoever about how to work with gongs but wanted to own one for their own personal therapeutic value, it'd be great. And they could begin that way. But I think taking lessons really helps people to get a good beginning, and I think that learning from different people around the country who are into this, one of my first knowledge about people who were into using the gongs is a man by the name of Christopher Tree. Michael Bettine told me about him, and after Christopher Tree, it seems that, or maybe at the same time, I don't know, Yogi Bhajan picked it up, and it is part of the work is that he did, as well as what we do, helps people to have contentment. They help with so many different things that it gets to be a little stunning trying to tell people what they help with. But what is very important is that they address each person where they're at today. So when a person comes to a gong immersion, they start with where they're at today, and then they progress into other areas where, other areas in their consciousness that need to be addressed, as well as their physical body. It's not uncommon for people to cry that are in the gong immersion, or for us as players to have tears coming out of our eyes while we're playing. It's a very unusual phenomena to experience, that you're playing and also at the same time there are tears coming down your face. But it's a fascinating feature that does happen with the playing of the gongs. People sneeze, they cough, they have different kinds of physical and emotional unwindings. Let's see. I'm trying to think of the other thing that it can sometimes elicit uncomfortable feelings for people. But what we have found every single time that somebody has something uncomfortable come up for them is that emotional response that they had to that event in their previously occurring in their life has a lot of the energy taken away from it. So they let go of an emotional negativity after having that experience with the gongs.
I noticed that you had crystal bowls too. Do you use those a lot, or is that just
We
another
add them
thing that
in
you like?
with. I use them in my massage practice with people with different kinds of pains and things that are coming up for them. But I also use them in mixture with the gong. They make a wonderful sound. This one's a G sharp. Really good for the joints. Enzyme production.
Large sound.
sound therapy for group settings and for individual sessions has a real magical sense to it, and it requires, to really work with them, requires some experience with people and the understanding that everyone, without exception, is clearing and healing all the way through their life. And yeah, so the work with the crystal bowls as well is very fascinating. We find out what is pleasant for people and play those bowls with them on their bodies. And they can be used as percussion instruments as well as rubbing.
When you say play on their bodies, do you actually like physically have the vibration?
Place the bowl physically on a person's shins or back, abdomen, and literally play the crystal sound bowl right on their body. The body has an ability to conduct sound better than the air does because it's 75% water, and so it really gets in and vibrates the tissues and cells. Let's see. It also induces other states of consciousness. So enjoyably, people oftentimes come out of some sound therapy with the bowls telling me about the colors that they've seen or the images that they've experienced at the same time.
Synesthesia going on during your sessions sometimes? Or I don't know if you're saying that correctly.
Oh, you know what? I'm not exactly sure what the meaning of the word that you're using is, so I apologize.
Where your senses cross, like you can see sound or...
Oh, okay. Now that does happen for some people, but what what they're telling me that they're experiencing literally is I'm playing the sound on them. They're in a state of semi-consciousness or unconsciousness, and at the same time they're having visuals of colors or imagery that's coming through, which is often what happens with the gongs, is that people see colors or have visionary experiences at the same time, and they have all of these experiences are informative to them. And even though, like, somebody might come out and say, I saw a deer. Now, there's a Native American definition for what a deer means, but that person may have a very special definition for themselves as to what deer means, and their definition is really what's key and important in their session. So we try to keep that forefront in our minds as facilitators, is that this is about them, not about us and our definitions of and meanings that we have created in our lives.
This might be a question for both of you, but why did you want to go into therapy? Why did you want to go into this type of work?
Oh, well, what led me here was massage therapy. But I got to the sound therapy because of a car accident I had in 2005, and I lost some of my long-term memory. Was having difficulty accessing a lot of my long-term memory, and I was having a lot of crossing of words. So I would say airport instead of post office, things like that. So I got into the use of drums because drums really are known for eliciting memory. They are used therapeutically for other things, and I found that they could be used like the bowls. The bowls have been with me in practice since 2004, but have known about sound therapy using specific frequencies. I've been working with that since 1996. The drum was also being able to be used like the bowls, where I set an edge of the drum on a person and play it, and the vibration moves through their body and breaks up inflammation. Well, it also really works really well for getting one's memory back. And that's what led us to the gong, was that, and then we were doing a fundraiser, and the people that were doing a gong immersion and yoga practice invited us to stay for that, which led us down the road into the gong. I actually had a negative post-experience. The experience of the gong immersion itself was fantastic, but afterwards I had a terrible headache. Well, I've had enough head injuries, concussions from baseball accidents and playing football as a kid and that stuff. So it caused me to have a headache. But Carol really loved it, so we kept going. And after a while, the headaches reduced, and I understood that they were from the inflammation in my skull. I didn't realize that at first, but I was willing to keep going because Carol enjoyed it and we had a good time.
Well, she had mentioned a similar kind of experience for people when they're moving past something particularly traumatic. They might have that negative experience.
Because gongs, the bowls, drums, the sound current will work on areas of inflammation. They kind of magically, right?
Yeah.
Find the area of inflammation, not just necessarily physical inflammation, but emotional inflammation. So they kind of know where to go, and
even spiritual inflammation.
Yes, and so those vibrations kind of know where to go, and sometimes, I guess the term growing pain didn't, was created for a reason. Sometimes that process of growing and healing isn't always necessarily comfortable, and so there are times where the sound currents, just like in any other kind of energy medicine, will be working on areas that need work, and it cannot necessarily be the most comfortable thing right at that moment. But then there's, as Christopher said, the discomfort abates, and there's usually a real market improvement after that.
Can we talk a little about the spiritual inflammation? I noticed you have various icons of beliefs.
Actually, I keep them around. I personally accept a lot of different things as being viable. I have a lot of thoughtfulness around all this stuff, that some of it may be self-perpetuated and self-created. But the statue of Mary was given to me by Carol as a request. I actually asked for one. And this one is from Lourdes, and Lourdes is an area of the world that is known to have miracles. A friend of mine gave me the Wealth Buddha. My friend Dennis Fairchild gave that to me. Pardon me?
Looks like he has gongs.
It does look like he has gongs. He also they're also and actually this, I wish I could remember the name of it just this second. But this is very much like a gong used in Asia. Called the cloud gong, and they hang those, and they're usually ingot thick. I mean, they seem to be ½ inch to an inch thick of metal, and they're very beautiful, and are played in different temples. Let's see. So the symbology around here is partially meant to just be welcoming of different ideologies. It's also a statement that I believe a lot of different things, and there's a lot of different sacred attitudes to be had in the world about different things, but the one that we find most sacred is people's consciousness, and your right to have your belief system the way it is, and us to do our best not to interfere with that. So we let people have, their experience, and they can report talking to any enlightened master, saint, angel,
their departed grandmother who was their source of unconditional love. I mean, that we called our sound therapy practice Sacred Wave because we wanted to embrace the concept that this can facilitate this kind of experience can facilitate a connection with that which is greater than any individual in whatever way they can see with that to be. So our practice is not confined to any certain paradigm of spirituality, but rather designed to support one's own personal connection with Source, with
our God, Goddess,
whatever.
The people who are agnostic or don't believe in God, this still has a lot of value for them. My understanding is that people that are atheist are still really believe that we, as a culture, need to come to a place of peace. And we support that.
That thoughtfulness,
Yeah.
back to
Yes.
that, whatever
Yeah.
your intention is.
Yeah, and that we're what really counts. You
Yeah.
know, this people getting along and being able to cohabitate and have enough is what counts.
A balance.
Right.
It's what you help perpetuate. I'm really interested in talking a little bit about your sliding scale.
Oh, for our Sacred Wave? For
Yeah,
our
so our
events?
different events. Here at our studio, where we always have padding, our price is $25 or what you can afford. Our larger events, we usually, like, in our studio events, we normally play for an hour, maybe a little bit longer, but normally we play for an hour. For our longer events, we play for an hour and a half or so. And and we have multiple players. We usually charge $40 for those, and lots of gongs, lots of gongs.
Because it's a bigger space, so we can.
Yeah. So this,
handle
like
more
this,
gongs.
at this last event, we had 8 gongs at that particular event, and 4 facilitators, gong players, gongoliers, and so those we charge $40. But our sliding scale, and on our posters, it always says for what you can afford. That is important to us. We have our price, we know what we put into this, we know what the therapeutic value is, but we want people to feel welcome to come, even if that price is outside of their budget. Whatever their budget is, we don't question it. They can stick it in the bowl or pass it off to our receptionist at the larger scale events, and that's
We're
how
happy to have them.
Yep, we're happy.
Great.
We're more than happy to have them.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's so.
Do you have any big events coming up soon?
Just did one.
We just did one on Friday, but the next event we have coming up is a very large event, and that event will be on Halloween, and it is going to be a night-long gong immersion, and we're still working on title and location for that.
Very cool.
So people sleep. It's like a big old sleepover,
Yeah.
and
so-
many gong players, and the gongs play gently throughout the night, and people sleep there.
Yep. And they have an ongoing benefit reported from a lot of people. They say that the benefits continue on for a month after those longer.
I bet it has a
immersions.
really interesting interaction with the way they dream. And
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a pretty powerful experience.
Have you done similar experiences in the past, these sleepover type events?
We have.
Last November, we did
Or,
one. Last
October?
October. No,
Oh, no.
last October.
Okay.
October the 19th of last year, we did one.
Right.
And so this is will be an annual, possibly more often. It's a fun thing for me especially. The getting together multiple gong players and really enjoying getting to lay there and experience, open our eyes. We like to pick a place with windows so you can look out and see the sky change throughout the evening.
And you might think, gee, how could you possibly fall asleep with some of this big sound happening? But small event, large event, people often fall asleep, and you're not missing anything if you fall asleep. Sometimes people think, oh my gosh, I have to stay awake, or I'm going to miss a therapeutic value. And that really isn't true. The gongs, the sound current is doing its work regardless of whether you're aware of it at the moment or not. And just like with any other kind of energy work, I think we tend to think that if a person falls asleep, it's really probably because their conscious mind needed to get out of the way and let the internal processing happen. So it's fine to fall asleep. Some people think they weren't asleep, but they were snoring.
Yes.
And hopefully the gong.
That
People
happens
not
a
to
lot.
mention any names.
So, yep.
Yeah.
I've had the experience of listening to someone playing the gong and noticing their style, and then being told when I came to that I was snoring the whole time.
Yeah.
Still subconsciously
Yeah,
taking
there's
it over.
some,
Yeah. Well, there's multiple brainwave states occur simultaneously, so people can have the sensation of being conscious and be unconscious at the same time. When
That's
people
really
go to
interesting.
get up in the middle of a gong immersion, their bodies have been asleep. We tell them, make sure you're stable before you try to take a step.
Wow.
Because your
Huh.
body's been sleeping even if your mind's been awake.
Right.
Well,
Really.
I'm really anxious. I think this is going to be fun.
Yeah, and
I'm
just
really
for
interested.
people that are interested, do you do classes almost every day or?
Oh, we do our gong Our weekly gong events happen twice on Tuesday at 6 and 8, Thursdays at 6:15, and we currently have soft landing Sundays at 3 p.m. Here in Royal Oak. And then, so those are gong immersions. We're beginning to get a group of people ready to do another class in gong playing, and those will probably take place on Sundays, earlier in the day.
Our big events.
Our big events are Friday or Saturday nights usually. So.
Is there anything that we might not have thought to inquire about that's...
Off the top of my head, I can't think of anything.
No.
But it's been really a pleasure having you come in and ask us questions and get us to think about what it is that we're offering people and be more clear for people to hear about what we have to offer and share with them.
Yeah, thank you for your time. This has been a really informative experience, at the very least.
Thank you. I think you'll enjoy the gongs even more.
Yeah, I will too. A before picture of them. See if there's any difference in there if you get done. So, how do you feel?
I feel all right. You
feel good? You feel good about it? Are you nervous at all?
I'm not nervous. I'm really excited. This
Yeah.
seems like a very cool opportunity.
Well, we had the opportunity of meeting everybody beforehand, so I think that really is going to make it great.
Hype me up about it.
So with Christopher and Carol, very nice and great interview.
And this is a great experience, and we'll see how I feel afterwards.
Okay.
Happy Sunday.
Thank you so much.
Page's Bookstore is locally owned and located at 132 West 2nd Street in downtown Flint at Buckham Alley. It is a showcase for local authors and artists. Please visit Page's during the Second Friday Art Walk in downtown Flint.
All right, and remember, you too can be an underwriter for this show. It's only $10 donation to your favorite grassroots organization, the Creative Alliance.
Maybe we can go to more places like that, Royal Oak.
Yeah, if you can help pay for our gas, we will explore Michigan for you, so you don't have to.
Yes, we'll be the traveling show.
Actually, I think that'd be a cooler show.
It would be. But anyway, now we're going to get a few clips of our own very own Nick.
Well, and not just be that really cool musician we were talking about.
Oh yeah, we did show. Yeah, we have a little bit of a musician, and then we give you a little feel of what it's like to be in Royal Oak. You know, they have a train that goes right through town. It's kind of interesting.
It's nice.
But it's really pretty nice. A lot of people out there.
Yeah, it was nice. So
not a bit scary.
Not scary except for the rain might melt you. But it was a great day.
Anyway, but we tried really hard to find the scariest places possible to let Nick do his poetry. And so here you're going to watch it.
Yeah, let's go into it.
Great.
Are endangered, and its sprawls been known to swallow strangers like a jungle. With forked tongues, gorillas gather on ports and stages, scheming to feed that struggle. Now respect really beats paid praises, not to pop your bubble, but talent is wasted. Poverty's been hyped as true life when a steady job involves selling hazes. Born shivering with thick skin coat of pride, a hide stolen by skinny jean racists. Primal chic as destructive as invasives. And tattooed with assuming gazes, these hip poachers on the mainland define a preserved wasteland out of our brickland stable. Pacifying kids in cages, drugged and bobbing, hooked by lines of cable. Sidewalk cafes serving status from the safety of reserved tables. As game, we live in haste, can evolve, we are able. Reclaiming cracks in pavement, using fame to feed the struggle, blaming systematic hustle, but that truth it's only mumbled. And I don't expect you to save us. Credit card chance for dreams, scrap pipes to make payments, think rumble, not flight. Invest in confidence, bank on true statements. If you catch my drift, you cannot fumble. Now paychecks pay for life's phases, but that change is only subtle. Workhorses reborn barrel. Survive in the dead of night, silent, foamy, and careful. See new dreams from all new sides of the blinding, straight and narrow. You are here. Fight to rewrite maps and draw new arrows. The rotten power lines, vine, tower, and climb with those who tripped and tumbled. Look, spaced out heater huddles, that change, it's only subtle. Brick meadows bloom with grit and grime, abandoned forest house renames in rubble. Half towns are burnt alive, but it only feeds that struggle. We were born to blame the systematic hustle. Born test threats for electric haterade and institutions bound to crumble. A habitat designed for breeding low-life scum and trouble. High-rise buildings taken as trophies, ashen children forced to stumble. And those sidewalk cracks are getting bigger as more spirits haunt the trigger, as the victims clutch their fingers, fearful of their neighbors. Nothing works and everyone labors. The stabber hunted daybreak and darkness on safari for hope and swagger. We're wildlife to them. Beasts once tame, now lame or haggard. Our herds thinned out and staggered. But these predators can't be captured. Like venomless snakes, their fables keep them raptured. They prey in grassy chapels, we prayed only apples. But they're fermented in a tonic. And we live drunk off of the knowledge, slosh of the moon, happy howling. Cuckoo, ka-choo! My pelt looks like this, but scowling. Your eyes are bejeweled, hollow points squeezed by ivory rings. Just blood on your shoes, young bucks like me with horns removed, egos bruised. The hunted, desperate, learn to see. The hungry, fed up, yearn to feed. You see, decay's got a lively following. So slob up tourist pigs and slide their meatless ribs, gravy, gasping, butchered, wallowing. There's cavities in the canines and arrogance like pride out prowling, leaving lasting legacies, deliberate with depravity. We're all dead-eyed decoys just shrunk by gravity. Pendulums in the clockwork running out of time. Our children mean mug the sun for shine, regression gnawing on the spine. Epitomized unraveling because bitter grapes make better wine. Lawns plastered with signs, fighting to be seen. For sale, for lease, rent to own, first month free. In my hometown, there's so many choices on which place to be. In my head, there's just one life to live, i.e. to flee, but fortunately for me, there's no rush. The city cemetery is lush, and might as well blink neon lights reading vacancy. This town may have raised and razzed Buick City, but the irony is killing me. In all the basement Buddhists, meditator and plume cycle lights, making bucks, growing kush, thinking deeply about their own suffering. A generation of garbage pail kids born with broom in hand to sweep up ancestral debris. Even though 8 people per day move away worry-free, they can't see anything left to save, just a broken tribe and an oil stain, and the sad part is they aren't far off. Because despite whatever happy face I want to feign, or injustice I could lock my door and ignore instead of stress to change, there's just not much still standing that deserves the praise. A few pillared rows of half-burned gutless homes, chess piece investment groves played out in downtown revival zones, and a few well-hidden hornets' hives where gaunt artists thrive in a daze, haunting the flower fields of their minds. The little buzz they spit spun out poetic phrase, softly composing cracks of lightning that lead to thunderous refrains. Jaws rattling ferocious behind snakebite fangs, this is anti-venom spit, a mumbled rattle subwoofed into a wild howl, penetrating your unknown like lapping licks of an inner shiver craze. These impassioned kids make clunky claims to fame, even though no one will ever know their name. Lives comparable to an upshot drop of water, sputtering from a sprinkler as background noise to the pouring rain. But a magnet to metal, they're drawn here and have stayed, and I'll do the same until the roof caves in. Where motivation dissipates like smoke clearing from throwing ink at expectations, throwing out poems like pinpulled grenades. Girl, I want to rip into you like a demo crew with the passion for the jobs. I want to film our smash session. Dub the soundtrack with your giggles and tentatively label it ruin porn. Babe, I want to be the bulldozer with your boarded up bungalow. I want to plow your lovely ashes, torched by callous assholes, into your open basement. I want you to see yourself not as they have made you, but as a clear sunset, non-existent and naked. A horizon line not yet redefined, but no longer dwelling on your flaws or feeling like a wasteland. I want to be the one who takes you off the grid. I want to sweep you off your feet. Now I know you think your heart has been stolen from metal thieves mining through the drywall, but babe, I'm not here looking to remodel. I'm here to make you crumple into sheets. I'll haul out the debris of your esteem by hand if I have to. Thrust truckloads of soil in its place, exhaling diesel breath heat. So that soon we can spoon having had our fill. sod and straw, strewn like tidal waves to wash away a past life's pain, and help you rest in peace somewhat whole again, instead of forever forsaken, condemned by your self-defeating, soul-destructive loneliness. I only go for girls with dry wit and sad arson hearts. The ones I dig lips, dragging Zippo clicks across their chests, playfully threatening to go through with it, and I'm a fool. I'm just a fool for that. Some product of my environment. I'm not into girls that nibble on their fingertips, determined to sit because the future's stamped with hopelessness. No, I'm down with the defiant chicks that phoenix out when faced with foreclosure or having their copper dresses stripped. I've learned not all of us can be fixed, but I'm stuck on girls that repossess their own destinies. Even if that means the whole squatting, Inferno, Romeo, Juliet, poison dagger thing. I've spent dizzying nights with girls who giggle about their crumbling lipstick architecture in the bitter Michigan winter, wondering if a little fire will bring them clarity. As a kid, I dreamt of fixing the derelict buildings of my Midwestern city, all of which have since been erased by fire, work crews, and misery. I knew nothing about CPs or girls and less about the real world, but I've known the sharp pain of heartbreak and disappointment well enough by now that it barely phases me. Sometimes I've seen you have to sacrifice a house full of dreams to find your real home, even if that means setting up camp on a patch of new grass and reimagining.
All right.
Wasn't those videos great?
Really cool street
Mixed
musician
poetry.
down there. I think that was original music and everything.
Yeah,
so
that was fun too.
I want to thank all of our guests today. I want to thank Christopher. I want to thank Carol. I want to thank Pauly for being on this side of the camera for once. And
We didn't have anybody here to do the
why don't we just why don't you do it with us, Pauly?
You ready?
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace out.